You're logged in on this account, right?
Yes.
You're playing Veigar in the video, right? Or
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Alright, just play Veigar, okay?
Okay.
And I will play. What did you play in the replay? Like what matchup?
Wait a second. Was it Corki? I'm not sure. Have to look it up.
Okay, I'll just play Syndra because it's really hard matchup for you.
Okay.
So if you can do well in this matchup, then that's gonna be really good. Alright?
So just standard runes for normal game.
Yeah, I mean I would go Predator versus Syndra. So Predator, Taste of Blood, Ghost Poro, Ingenious Hunter. And secondary versus Syndra, I like to go Second Wind, just because this matchup is really hard. You know?
Okay. Yeah. And unflinching or?
Yeah, you can go Second Wind and Flinching, and then just go like CDR, MR, HP. Versus Syndra.
So on Vega, it's always better to just go resistance on the second one.
Depends on lane. Like, if you want to contest the lane, then you can go AP. Like AP and CDR. But Syndra, you can't win. It's impossible to win.
The matchup was Nessus.
Okay, yeah. But it's just good to practice 1v1 versus Syndra, because if you can go even CS or even just like only like 10 cs behind, that's already good, because then you'll survive every matchup.
Okay.
This is the only hard matchup that Veigar has, so.
I feel like most of my champs get hard countered by Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, her lane is very, very oppressive lane.
So I've bought tier, but would it be better to just
Corruption Potion versus Syndra.
yeah, corruption? Okay. Okay.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So yeah, I mean, what makes this matchup hard is that usually Veigar, right, you want to get pushed in, right? Because so you can just farm in turret. But to do that, you need to take a trade to like really get pushed in eventually. Because like normally she will slow push wave 1 and 3, crash the third wave, and then eventually it'll bounce back into enemy, right? And to make it push back into you, you need to trade. But Syndra can like trade in a way where she doesn't push back into you, because she doesn't take minion aggro, you know? Whereas, let's say a champion like Cassio, she uses an E on you, now she's taking minion aggro. And she just has very spammable kits, so yeah. I'll stop talking now, you can just focus.
By force of will. People fear what they cannot understand. My potential is limitless. This power is mine to command.
You see why you need corruption potion.
Yeah.
They are nothing to me. I am in control. First,
Okay, leave.
Ah,
I will review now. You don't know. Because you do a lot of mistakes that a lot of people do on Veigar. Okay, can you see my screen?
yeah.
Okay, so obviously like items, right? Like obviously Tear is useless versus Syndra. You can go Tear versus like Malzahar and like some piss champs, you know? Like I also do Tear start on Veigar versus like piss champs. Like here I played bot lane versus Ezreal. I really hope I went Tear. Yep, see? Like Ezreal Braum, right? It's fucking free lane, right? Doesn't matter if it's bot lane or mid lane, it's the same thing. But it,
If you play against something like Draven, would you go Dorans?
Deering, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because then I need the HP. You know, here again, Yumi, I really hope I went Tear. I don't remember. Yeah, see? And like here, I'm in mid lane, right? Versus Zed. I'm not going to start Tear, you know? I'm going to go like Deering, you know? And just try to have the HP to live. But if I lane versus something useless mid, like Malzahar, you know? Then I'm going to go Tear start. Like versus Akali, I could go Tear. I don't remember what I went. Yeah, see? Tear. You know, Akali's not going to punish me, right? She's so useless. So, but yeah, in matchups like Syndra, where they're going to poke you a lot, contest you, you need to have sustain. That's why we go second win in this matchup. This is the only matchup you're going to go second win in, because this is the only matchup that's like actually hard. So yeah, okay. So your goal is to Q-poke the Syndra for Taste of Blood, okay? And it's to last hit minions. That's your only goal. So this is bad. Like, just taking this Q, why, right? You should take damage when you're farming, but you're not doing anything in lane here, right? You cannot contest me. It is impossible for Veigar to beat Syndra. So why are you in lane, right? Like, you should just sit back. You have no reason to be where you are, right? Like, right now you're trying to set up your Q stacks, right? But you cannot versus Syndra. Like, you're trying to auto this minion here. Look, you were in auto animation. Watch.
Yeah. No, I didn't want to prepare. I was just trying to. Okay, that's actually the wrong thinking process then.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
wanted
shouldn't
to.
try to hit at all. Why are you wanting to hit? You're not going to get level 2 before me. I'm not going to let you do anything to the wave. Right? My champ is so OP in early levels. See, like, you autoing there. Like, I will Q you. You know? Like, you just need to last it. This is not bad to look for. Because you have no reason to have your Q up, you know? So, like, going for the Q, even though it missed, right? It's good. It's good to do that. But you see here again, right? Why do you walk up? Because it's not about getting EXP. You were in EXP range. Look. See? You could stand in your wave, and I would be pushing. You should try to stand on your minions at least, because you want to get pushed in. Because then I can't run you down. See, stuff like this as well is bad. You should not want to trade with me. Doesn't matter if I'm in your wave, right? You're half HP right now. You know?
No.
You never win this trade. Like, I missed my Q. My Q went to Africa. And you still lose this trade. Because me dealing 90 damage to you is more worth than you dealing 120 to me. Obviously, I took more damage. But me taking damage won't turn into anything good for you, right?
No.
Whereas you're fucking half HP already, right? While popping a potion. See, here you're forced to do like a level 2 fight with me. And you see how bad this is for you. Right? It's terrible for you. Like, again, I even misplay. Like, I miss another Q. Imagine I hit that Q. So, we're gonna do it again. Do you play Syndra?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's an issue of me that I play too many champs. So
Mhm.
I have played her.
Okay. Then I go Veigar and you go Syndra.
No, that if the
Do you go
tables return,
Scorch in this
I
matchup
would
as
show you
Syndra?
no
Yeah.
mercy.
I mean, you can win with scaling runes, but you should go full early game runes just to make it as hard as possible for me. When you do 1v1s and you're playing a hard matchup, it's best to practice when enemy has the most aggressive runes. Because if I'm able to farm versus a Syndra with early game runes, then I'm gonna be able to farm versus a guy with scaling runes, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Like, you really need to value your HP as Veigar in general, but especially in this matchup because, like, you never choose when to recall as Veigar versus Syndra. You will never get a push out. So you have to TP back. So it's like, let's say I'm playing Veigar versus Corki, right? I can push out a base at some point, right? Especially later.
Yep.
Right? Because he can't stop me. But versus Syndra, I never choose when to base. So I have to TP back. And I want to make sure I get to stay in lane for as long as possible before I TP back. So I can come back with the best items, right? So like with how you were playing, you needed to base already after the third wave. So you would only have like Tear if you had C-Pot. That's pretty fucking bad. You would like to have like Magic Mantle and Tear versus Syndra, for example. Like 850 gold.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I also like to ward the middle of the lane when the lane starts because I'm gonna get pushed in versus Syndra anyway, so I get 4 AP from Ghost Pearl. So I'll just do that now. But yeah, in a real game you shouldn't ward that early, because then they see you ward and they will come sweep it. But you can ward at like 110, 120, something like that.
Minions have
Because
spawned.
you know how Ghost Pearl works?
Basic theory behind it, but
You get 2 AP when it spawns and 2 AP when it gets popped. When the Poro dies.
so it's like you getting 2 kills on
Yeah.
Collector. Okay.
Suffering awaits. I will swallow your soul. Stalking prey again? The magic, it calls to me. It's only a short way. Is that a short joke? Yes.
So do you see how long I hold my potions? Because second wind heals you the lower you are.
Okay. Yeah.
Tire me.
So the reason why I trade there is because I want you to push back to me, you know? Because my wave was really bad.
Duel! You deny your power! Suffering awaits! It calls to me! Give up now! You deny the darkness in your soul! You deny your power! Stalking prey again? Yes!
Okay, we can leave now. Because we will both just base here and, you know, it'll just keep going. And it gets better for me the longer the game goes, obviously. So, like,
Yeah.
if you look at how I played the early, right? Like, I don't tank that random Q that you did. And
Yeah.
the only reason I take Q here is because I trade Q with you. And I'm fine doing this because obviously I get AP for it, right? And then
Yeah.
next time I take damage is because I want to farm these minions. So I farm those minions. And now I'm back into Africa again, right? And I'm just queuing you. Because I have no reason to walk up into your Q range here. And now this minion here is going to get low. So I just make sure I'm in the XP range. I also get the Q off on you. And that's my entire goal. Right? Obviously I'm losing CS because I'm not walking up and farming this, right? But if I walk up and farm this minion here, I'm fucked. Right? I will lose so much HP. So all I will do is just sit back and make sure I at least get the XP. Like here, this minion is there, right? So I click forward instead of backwards because I want to make sure I get that the XP. So obviously I will now take some damage. Especially, like, obviously it's unlucky that you missed that. But I should take some damage there. But I'm fine with that because I'll be under turret afterwards. And you see I'm just holding my potions a long time because, like I said, with second wind, you heal the lower you are. And it has no cap on it. So you end up, like, let me see if I can show you an example. Okay, so look at my health regen. Now, 1.5, right?
Yep.
Then look when I take damage. 3.1. 3.3. See that?
Yeah.
Because I get lower. And so when I get really low here, I heal a lot more. So this way you can get another, like, 10 HP per second wind proc, you know, and that can be nice. So now when I get this low, at this point I start popping potions, and now I'm thinking, okay, now my wave is really bad, right? So now I will start using my potions, and my goal now is just to make sure that my wave will push back into me. And now obviously in a real game, this all depends on like jungle position and stuff, right? Like in a real game, I might be AFK over here now, waiting for my potions to heal me back up, waiting till I see jungle, maybe ward somewhere, maybe hug my top side or something, whatever. But on the next wave now, it's going to push back to me, and I'm chilling right now. Yeah, the matchup is painful. It's the worst mage matchup for Veigar in the game. Because exactly like this, how you can just walk up, you don't even need to auto-attack me. You can just Q like this, and you don't take minion aggro. You know, that's so cringe. Because most champs have to click on you here, you know, and then they take aggro. But yeah. So yeah. And then now I can just base. My wave is good pushing to me. and I'm chilling, and it's a lot better than what was happening to you, and even I misplayed a bit because I shouldn't have gotten as low as I was. But it's the idea of the matchup, and this is just like every mage matchup that's bad. This is just your goal as Veigar, because very early on you're pretty pissed champ, but as you can see in the trades that we start doing here, right? My champ isn't as weak anymore, right?
No.
Like here, I can kind of fight with you a bit. So yeah. And then after this base that we will do here, my lane is like really, really good, because then I have damage, right? So yeah, okay. Let's see if the video is ready. Okay, it is. All right. Okay, so
I mean, it's not really a stomp by the enemy, and
is this game right?
the thing. Yes.
Mhm. All right. Yeah.
I feel
So-
like the
Mhm.
current games are really, really short,
So
which
much.
is kind of.
Okay. So let's just start off talking about runes. So, you watch Nemesis?
Sometimes.
Your runes, you're going like his runes basically. Okay. So, Predator is good versus ranged team comps and ranged champs. Okay.
Yep.
Electrocute is extremely OP on Veigar. Example, in the Syndra matchup I was playing versus you, I would have solo killed you at level 5 if I had Electrocute. Okay? And
Yep.
the reason why Electrocute is so good on Veigar is because the AP ratio of Electrocute is, as you can see, 0.25.
Yep.
That's a lot for a champion that gets 1k AP, right? So
Yeah, I usually went electrocute, especially in bot lane, but
yeah, bot lane every game Electro. You can go Predator some games on mid. But so my point is that like when you walk inside my wave, right? Every champion that's not Veigar would be fighting the Syndra, because it's kind of illegal to fight in my wave, right? I should win that.
Yep.
But when I have Predator, I'm so piss useless. Like this trade, you mentioned I have Electro, right? Boom, Electro proc here. I'd be winning so much harder. And it's also scales so good on Veigar. So basically, like if they have, let's say they have a team comp like this. I think if you go Electrocute here, especially now that you're like starting to be in like pretty decent elo, it's suicide to play Electrocute here, because you can never reach them realistically, right? In low elo, obviously Esther will jump into you, right, and fucking die, right? And Jace won't space properly. But assuming these champions use their range, you need Predator here to be able to ever reach anyone. Okay?
Yep.
But for laning phase, when you're being contested in lane and you need to fight back in lane and you don't need Predator to teamfight and reach enemy team, you need to go Electrocute. Like Cassiopeia, as Veigar can just walk up and cage her. She can't outrange your cage if she's playing the lane like she should. You know? So there's no point to go Predator here. And she will fight you in your wave if you're useless. So Electrocute is really nice. Same thing with Ryze. Same thing with like Vladimir, this type of short range, mid range mages. But when you're playing versus Seraph bombing you from Africa, right, then you have to go Predator. Otherwise you can't realistically reach him. Make sense?
Yeah.
So when we look at this game, right,
yeah,
Kindred, not that long range. Malphite, not long range. Nasus, not long range. Ziggs and Karma, yes.
Yeah.
So, but I would go Electrocute here just because most of the time I'm not fighting Ziggs and Karma, I'm fighting Kindred, I'm fighting Nasus, Malphite. Right?
Yeah.
But it's not the worst Predator game I've seen. It's for sure like playable. But I think, like you said, you played it in bot lane a lot, right, Electrocute?
Yep.
You feel that you're useless, no, with Predator, like compared to Electrocute, the damage difference.
yeah, it's
Like
the-
I have like 2k plus games of Electrocute, and every time I play Predator, I fucking hate my life. But sometimes you just have to play it. Like here, this game, complete piss to play Electrocute. You cannot reach Ezreal, cannot reach Lux. Now the Kindred is playing different because she's playing backline with her Seraphine and stuff, right? So here, without Predator, you are not engaging. And if you look at your team, you don't really have that good engage either. So, makes sense to go Predator here. But like here, very good Electrocute game, right? All of them are jumping into you, dashing in. Make sense?
Yep.
So yeah. What were you gonna say?
What I wanted to say was about Glacial Augment is not really good anymore.
It's terrible, not good anymore.
Okay.
It was like
Okay.
1.5 years ago, but yeah.
And there was a game with, there was Cassiopeia and Corki in the same game, and I went Predator, I think.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like, Corki is
Okay.
bombing you from Africa, Jin is ulting from Africa, Soraka as well.
Okay.
And you're not laning versus the Cassio. I think if you're laning versus the Cassio, then it's a bit different. You know?
Okay.
So yeah. But, yeah. And this, you need to go unless you're gonna go Sweeper. Like, if you're gonna go Sweeper, then obviously you don't go this, because Eyeball, you know, is going to get stacked, and this will not get stacked if you have Sweeper. But if you're gonna play with Yellow Trinket and then get Blue Trinket later, I would rather have this, especially when you have Ingenious Hunter. I think if you're playing with Electrocute, you can make an argument to go Eyeball and have Sweeper, but to me, Veigar is not that good of a Sweeper champ because he can't run around and clear wards. He gets solo killed by enemy jungle, right? If enemy has Kiana, Rek'Sai, Rengar, Evelyn, fucking Talon, Zed, all of these junglers, they solo kill, you know? So I don't feel like I can walk around sweeping. Like, if I'm playing Fizz or Kassadin, I can get Sweeper early, because I can just run here, sweep the vision, and if I meet a guy, I just run away, right?
Yep.
But Veigar isn't the same. So, yeah, I don't like Sweeper on Veigar. So I would go Ghost Burrow every game, because it just stacks faster than Eyeball. If you look at this game 24 minutes. You had 11 kills this game. I'm sure you could have gotten more, but let's say even if you got 13 kills this game, Ghost Burrow would still stack faster, and you would get Ghost Burrow stacks before you would get a kill. Right? If you look at the 1v1 I played, I got 4 AP now. There. I got 4 AP from my Ghost Burrow. Look here. I have 5 AP. Right now at 220, I got 4 AP. That's 2 stacks.
Get it.
Right?
And you gain 10 extra AP on finishing it, or
Yes, you
right?
get 30 from every single one.
Okay.
All 3 of them gets 30. And I already got 2 stacks on that thing. So I'm already on my way there. Right? And here, I placed my other ward in the lane. And now that one is gonna pop. There you go. And if you're gonna lane, right, if you're gonna walk up past this, then I would get another 2. So right now I have 6 AP. If you walk on it, I get then 8 in total. Right? And we can both agree that at 530, I should never have any kills as Veigar. Right?
Yes.
So now at the level 6 all-in, I have 8 extra AP. Every game. That's why it's much better.
Okay. Yeah, I've always heard Elite picking it, but I never really...
Yeah, where do you think
bothered
Elite
with-
got that from?
Yeah, I know.
I told him the same thing when I was coaching him, because Vladimir is the same champ. You know, you're never gonna have a kill at 530 on Vladimir, so just starting the game off with 8 extra AP is really fucking good. You'll always stack it faster and more reliably. Now, for Sorcery Second, if you're gonna go Mana Flow, the only thing that's good with that is that then you get to skip Tear. It makes no sense to have Mana Flow banned and then also have Tear. That's just a waste. I don't think that this is necessarily the best, because I really think that Veigar uses item spikes super good. So I go for Futures Market. What you went is not the worst. Like, there's for sure worse things to go than this. But yeah, I go this. And if I think I need boots, so like let's say I'm playing Predator, I obviously wouldn't go for this one, right? Then you can go like stuff like this. I just think that Futures Market is so good on Veigar, because you want Chapter, you want tier 2 boots, you want your mythic item, Everfrost, right? Your champ is so much better once you get Everfrost, right?
Yep.
And you really want your Rabadons, right? If Dragon is up in 1 minute, and you're 400 gold of Rabadons, you can just farm 1 wave if you have Futures Market. You know, you can just farm 1.5 wave, or 1 wave in a jungle camp. You base, you use your Futures Market, you have Rabadons.
I usually go it on most champions because I'm kind of addicted to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. But, so like the only thing I could ever accept is that you could, because you could make the argument that, yeah, but with this you have mana issues, so you're spending 400 gold on Tear. Yeah, that is true. The reason why I don't accept that argument is because I sell my Tear eventually. And if you look, right, 400 gold,
mana. Yeah.
400 gold, I sell it 280. So I didn't really spend 400. Right?
No.
It's more like, yeah, I spent 400 in early game, so like, let's say I'm playing Syndra. I would accept this argument for Syndra, because buying 400 gold of mana for Syndra on your first base is pretty fucking bad, because Syndra uses that 20 AP early a lot better than Veigar, right? Let's say you could buy an Amp Tome instead of Tear. When I come back from my first base, let's say instead of having Amp Tome and Tear on Veigar, I have 2 Amp Tomes. It's not like I'm gonna demolish my lane, right? Like, yeah, it's gonna be better, but it's not like I'm playing Syndra now with 20 extra AP. You get what I mean?
Yep.
So, later on in the game, let's say I'm 25 minutes in, I need gold for item. It's not like I spent 400 gold. I would just sell this, and, you know, then I spent 120 gold.
So
You see
if
what I
you would play against really sustain heavy lane as Syndra, could you then go tier? Against
you could.
Vladimir?
You could if you want. I don't think Tear is like terrible on Syndra. I just think that Syndra needs to win lane, kind of, you know? Like, to me, Syndra is not a scaling mage.
Yeah.
She's very rarely a scaling mage, because the only game she scales in is when enemy has very short range. And in those games, I mean, you could play any other mage and you would scale better than Syndra. I feel like Syndra's lane is what makes her a viable champion. 1 sec, I gotta charge my headset. Okay, so, like I was saying, the only runes you could change on Veigar is if you want to not go Tear to have a slightly stronger laning phase, then you can drop Futures Market, but then you need to either go Biscuits or Mana Flow. Because Veigar is not laneable without some kind of mana in your lane.
Okay.
You know? If you're playing Veigar, and you find that with your build or your setup, you have to, like, be careful with how you use your spells, that's really bad. Because Veigar, if his Q is up, you should use it. Either to poke or farm. It should never stay up. Same with your W and E. You should be spamming it and getting AP.
If you're playing against a CC heavy team, could you consider going... Yeah, that
You
one.
can go this. I've done that before.
Okay.
They have like Twisted Fate and Fiddlesticks. But in those rare cases, you could also go like this with like Stopwatch, so you get mercs instead of free boots. Because if you go this, you can't get mercs, right? So you can go like stuff like this. Like that's not bad. Then you can swap to cleanse and stuff. So you can do change like that. That's why Veigar is a very good champ, because you can change a lot in runes. But yeah, like the idea of Tear is to get through early game and mid game without going so you can get more AP eventually, because you get to spam spells. And then whenever you need gold for an item or an item slot, you can just sell your Tear. So you didn't really spend 400 gold. You only spent 400 gold in laning phase, which, like I said, I don't think matters much for Veigar because of how he gets played in the early game. But if you do want to be stronger in lane, then you can do something like this, but then you should not go Tear. Like, this is what Nemesis goes, I believe, but he's still going Tear. But then it's useless to go Mana Flow Band, because you don't need Mana Flow Band and Tear. You know?
I mean, it has some benefit, but I don't think it's...
It's useless. Like, I tried it.
No.
Like,
Yeah, no, I meant that Mana Flow gives, depending on your max mana. I mean, it's a bit...
yes, but you don't need more mana than what you're using, so it's useless.
Yes.
Whereas, like, if you go like Biscuit and this, then at least this way, you make sure that when you did buy double Amptome in lane instead of Amptome and Tear, you don't go So this is better for playing aggressive and not going So I would rather go this than Mana Flow ban, to be honest. The only thing is, like, you lose Transcendence. Sure, that can feel a bit bad. But, like I said, all of these will feel bad. That's why I go just this, because it's just the best. Just save so much fucking gold. Like, look at every game I'm playing, right? Like, here, I'm versus fucking Aphelios fresh in bot lane, right? And I go this, and I just save so much gold. And this is in bot lane, right? I save so much gold going this. And, you know, then I'm playing in mid lane, and I save so much gold again.
In the games you just showed, did you go eyeball collector because of
bot lane? Bot lane, I go eyeball because
Okay.
your wards get swept all the time or pink warded.
Wait, the Poro only spawns if it runs out?
Yes, if it runs out. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
like you see here, like I'm versus Akali, like I don't need boots versus Akali. There's nothing to dodge, right? I agree. There's no skill shots because I would never, like I said, I would never go this if I need mercs or if I need boots in the matchup. But here I get 300 extra gold, I get more movement speed, and then I also get Futures Market, so I get my items whenever I want.
Okay.
That's how I snowball so hard. I've had too many games where I go Mana Flow Transcendence, and I need 300 gold for Rabadons, and the fight happens, and I don't have fucking Rabadons, and not having Rabadons in Veigar is fucking 200 AP less. That's so bad. So yeah.
Do you think, because I play some, I mean, I was in OTP, but on Vladimir, could you theoretically go Electrocute, Taste of Blood, what is it called? Poro?
Poro, yeah, goes Poro.
Then Relentless Handler or Ingenious, and in secondary, Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight?
Yeah.
Or would it?
People go Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight on Vladimir quite a lot. They do it on Face Rush as well. It just depends if you want boot starts. If you want boot starts with 4 potions, then obviously you can't do it.
Okay.
Like if I'm playing Vladimir versus like Syndra or something, I would really want boots, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, like versus Nasus mid, like you will play versus stuff like this sometimes, like Nasus, Set, Galio, Volibear, these type of like bruisers mid, and it's the same idea. They're basically just gonna ignore you and push. They're always gonna be gankable. All of these type of champions, like you're gonna play versus champs like this as Veigar, and they're all gonna just ignore you and push, but they're all gankable, right? They can't escape your cage, they're so gankable, so if your jungler wants to gank, he can come gank for a free kill. If he doesn't, then, you know, then okay, happens. But you're just gonna farm, nothing else you can really do, you're not gonna kill them, you're just gonna farm. It's really nice to play these matchups, because he just basically becomes another stack for you later. Because once you get some cooldown, you can just start bombing him in lane and just keep farming on him, you know? Because he can't stop you from hitting him. So yeah. You have a Rek'Sai this game, so that's really nice actually, because he can easily gank the Nasus.
Wait. The quality is really low, is that?
Yeah, that's the video, not
shit.
screen share. But it doesn't matter, we can see what's going on. You're setting up Q stacks, this is good so far. So here's triple reju bead, so it's like harassing him with auto attacks doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, I just realized because I didn't really check his items.
So here you do a mistake, and it's a pretty big mistake, because this is gonna be a start of a bad pattern, and it's just like a very important Veigar pattern to have, which is, like I said, with your Q, it should never be up, basically. So here, when you have Q coming up, right? Look your clicks. You see how you click back? I would never. I would be clicking forward and I would be queuing him right now. because my
Yep.
Q will come back up before these minions are low enough anyways. If you Q him, and it means you lose 2 AP because you can't last with these, then of course that's bad, but that's not gonna happen here. The minions are full HP. So you should be Qing him right here.
Yep.
The damage is irrelevant on him pretty much, but it's just free AP. And if you can do that once every wave, that's a lot of AP, right?
Yep.
And when we're playing Veigar, we want to snowball as fast as possible, because we want to eventually get to the point where we can threaten this guy, where he has to respect us.
Me always like going back when he approaches me is also a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you tried to Q. It obviously didn't hit, but it's fine. Like, you tried, that's what's important. So I wouldn't skill anything yet. Again, I would Q him, you know? Like, there's no reason not to Q him. So you line them up. It's fine. So yeah, he's gonna get prio for crab now. Do you see how you're just like dancing around here, doing nothing?
Oh.
So you end up skilling Cage, and like I told you, don't skill anything, because we need to see what happens with the wave and what happens with your jungler. Okay?
Yep.
When we're playing mid, obviously we're gonna get level 2 on the second wave, right? And then you're gonna have the option to skill Cage or W. If I'm being pushed in really hard, and I need to be able to farm more minions, I skill W, otherwise I'm losing minions for no reason. Also, having W when pushed in helps you prevent them from crashing, which is also really nice because Veigar has one of the best gank setups in the game. So if you can keep him overextended for one more wave, that means that that's another 30 seconds, right, where he has to be careful. And that's good. So if he's a Yasuo now dashing on you, then yes, you should be skilling Cage. But you're not going to use your Cage here. Right?
Yep.
Like, you gotta ask yourself, like, how am I gonna use the Cage versus Nasus? What do you think?
Basically only for the gank.
Right. Okay, so by skilling Cage then, you're saying that Rek'Sai is ganking mid right now. But he's not, right? He just finished his first camp of the game.
Yep.
Right, like
So
he just finished
basically-
2 camps.
So I should really just hold it until I know which decision is
Yes,
the one to go.
because this is a pretty big mistake that you will see now. Because right now, your job should be to start Wing the wave a little bit and making sure this guy never crashes. You can't really get push versus him. That's fine. But you should be able to stop him from crashing so that he keeps overextended. Because if you just let him crash, then that's really bad. At least if he has prio, but the wave's pushing to you, if he starts moving, he loses a full wave. Right? But if you just let him crash this, then he loses nothing from roaming. And then you're also forced to bounce into him. Like I told you, we really don't want to bounce into enemy, because then we're very vulnerable.
Yep.
Right?
So theoretically I should then just go W on level 3.
No, you go W level 2 here.
No, I mean
E at level 3, you mean? Or what? Like,
yeah, or then E.
you just keep holding. Like,
Okay.
watch, you just keep holding spells, and now when you see that, okay, now he's really getting the push, you should just look your jungler and ask yourself, when is he ganking? If you think it's ganking after Gromp, then yes, you can skill Cage. But if you see it's going blue, then you know you're going to get level 3 before he's ganking, right? So then just do W, and then you can do E at level 3 if he's ganking. If he's not ganking, you just go again another point in Q. Make sense?
Yep.
Because this is really awkward now. Because now he can just like brute force crash, and he shouldn't be able to just brute force the crash. And you can also get less AP by having E, because sometimes you need to W a minion to get it low enough for your Q so you can get more AP. Like there you lost a minion, and if you W, you could have gotten that, for example. So yeah,
I
let's
think
do
that was just my mistake.
Yeah, sure, but in general, this will happen that
Yeah,
you don't have W and you can't get all the minions, especially if you end up on a turret. Like, see how much you have to auto attack, right?
Yeah.
So like by the time you fucking kill it, his next wave is here, so he will just get to crash, and that like let's say it's a clock, right? And when the clock fucking reaches here, right? Then the gank is over, and it's fucking ticking, and you can't make it go back because you don't have W. So yeah, Rexa comes down. That's good. You should cage already. Yeah. Nice. Don't think it dies though. Okay, close. Okay, wasted flash, but yeah. So he has ghost and flash, right? The Nasus.
Yep.
Okay. So you need to try to crash on this wave. So this becomes really awkward now if he's a useful champion. Because if he's a useful champion, he will come back into lane and start holding the wave. His champion's not that good at doing that. Because he will tank a lot of minion aggro. Whereas like a Yasuo would like dash around now and start wind walling and everything. See this? He should still be freezing on you. So like here, you can't do what you're doing here versus a useful champ. Like if you use cage like this, right, versus Yasuo, you're fucked.
Yep.
So we should review this because this becomes really, really awkward. Your lane could be just over here versus useful champions because you're very lucky this game. They have Nasus mid, can't do anything versus you. They have Kindred jungle, can't really punish you. But if your wave gets held here and you're getting frozen on and they have fucking Jarvan here and you have no flash, your lane is over. So if we go back in time for when you kill him, your wave isn't terrible here. You can keep slow pushing, you know? Like, you might even be lucky here and it might even start pushing into you. It all just depends how these minions now start aggroing. Assuming that they start piling onto the same minion, and these ones don't die here, you can actually freeze. You know? As long as these minions here end up dying before your entire wave comes, you're going to be able to pull it around a little bit, and you're going to be able to freeze. Worst case, you're going to have to do a big slow push. And that is better than doing what you did. Because now you're just like killing the minions as fast as you can. In cases like this where you have to slow push or try to freeze, you sometimes want to give up an extra AP and just Q1 so that this one takes longer to die, you know? But like doing it like this now is just so fucking coin flip. Because now you're just hoping that he doesn't contest the crash, you know? If he contests the crash and decides to tank minions, then you're fucked. And I think, to be honest, even though he's playing Nasus, he could still have done this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Sorry, my bunny was ganking me. Okay, I'm back.
I think my E was also a bit off.
Of course, but like I said, he has triple Reggie bead, right? Like, you're not interested in fighting him here.
No,
Like-
I meant I wanted to zone him.
Yes, but let's say you caged, right? Like, let's say you walk up more, you stun him. You're never killing him. Maybe you chunk him to this much, but you are fucked, because you are held in lane. Right? With no flash. You're a walking free kill for Kindred. So this is just bad. You should never push this wave unless you can actually crash it.
Yep.
So like you should just tell yourself here, I will only last hit minions now, because there's no fucking way that I kill this and the next wave before Nasus comes. Right? So I will worst case slow push. Best case this ends up freezing, because you'll have different games where maybe there's another caster here, maybe these are more healthier, and you end up becoming to be able to freeze. But you should try your hardest to freeze or slow push as slow as you can here.
Yeah.
This will fuck you up in so many games if you do this mistake. Because you get away a little bit here. It's still not ideal for you, as you can see. Right? This is not nice for you. This does not feel good, no?
Yep.
Because you have to overextend for some minions. So let's see, where did we see Kindred last? Let me see if the quality is good now. Let me refresh. Okay, poggers. Yeah, so as you can see, like, right, like, these minions, you'll have a game where they're really high HP, right? And then you don't want to set them all up to be perfect for a Q stack, because then you ruin the freeze, you know?
Yep.
Okay, so what's...
Is there a way to like learn when waves are freezing? Like in that instance, I'd say that it doesn't freeze or that it's on the verge of freezing.
Yeah,
But
it's really
I-
close, but most likely gonna bounce into enemy, because like when the wave is
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
right? Anytime it's on your side, your wave is gonna reach first and it's gonna bounce. So he's gonna have to have a significant more minion advantage to deal with your next wave. The casters are gonna deal a lot of damage in the wave, right? So the issue with these melees are that if they were more tanky, they would live for so long that these triple casters would be able to kill his triple casters first. But since they're insta dead, right?
Yep.
We now know this is not a freeze, because these casters will live till this wave comes.
No, I meant before I queued the minions. Like
Yeah,
if I would recall without queuing, would that?
No, this would not be a freeze, because these minions would
Okay.
still die, right? And then, sure, these ones would be a bit low, but they're not dead until this wave comes. So then this wave comes with it, starts tanking and hitting, right?
Okay.
You get what I mean? Like, these minions needs to be able to kill these before the next wave actually starts coming.
Okay. So it's just about.
Yeah, so like, let's say this is dead, this is dead,
Yeah.
right? Then I would probably bet, yeah, it's probably gonna freeze. But here you shouldn't care whether it's a freeze or not, because it's bad to push anyways. So
Yeah.
you should hope it becomes a freeze, right? But if it becomes a slow push into him, then you just last it as late as possible. You know?
Okay. Yep.
If you really need a base here, for example, you can just base and TP back and slow push. Because this is really bad. Like here, now you're hoping that he just lets it crash to his tower. And that's like really bad way to play, right? Because he shouldn't let it just crash. So now when your wave gets fucked, now you need to have a side to hug and decide what to do. So that depends what is Rek'Sai doing. You see Rek'Sai is going from bot side? That means bot side is your side to play now. Okay, so you have a ward here. I would go and replace my vision right now. You have no reason to walk up, because you have no W, no cage.
And I have
Minions
two.
have full HP.
Yeah.
So I would just place down vision right now, have a safe side to hug on, and try to understand what's happening on the map. Like right now, enemy support is missing. Is he in base? Or is he roaming, right? That's something you failed doing as well, because while you're doing the slow pushing and stuff, you should be really aware of what's going on. Like, what's Karma's HP right now, right? Like, when she goes missing, is she basing? Right? Like, now you know she's in bush. But let's say you're not watching bot right now. And then, let's say now she goes into the bush, and you look the map. You don't know if she's in the bush, or if she's in base, or if she's in river. You just know she's missing. So, it's really important when you're playing League, that when we have these AFK moments in the game, like here, when you're just slow pushing or freezing, you really try to look at the map and understand what's going on. If Karma goes missing now, where can she be? The lane bush, that's the only place, right?
Do you mean Kindred right now? Or...
No, Karma,
Okay.
the support. Supports are gonna gank you more in high elo than junglers. Okay? Supports are gonna gank you after every fucking base. And avoiding junglers is not hard, because they always show on a fucking ward on a lane, or on a jungle camp, or on your jungler, or on top or what. You're gonna die to more pike roams than fucking Kindred ganks. Kindred we shouldn't be afraid of right now. Like, you know, it's not a problem. Like, he got this crab, we can assume Kindred is bot crab, right? We can assume that. We can make that assumption. It's a fair assumption to make. But yeah, you see how you have to overextend for every single minion, and you have no fucking vision. See, you're like clicking top side, but here you're standing bot side. See, you don't know where to stand. That's my problem. We could assume that she took this. I really need to have a new ward here. Maybe one even behind me here. Because maybe it's possible that she went into Rek'Sai's bot side here after he ganked top, right? But you don't have this vision. So it's very likely here that you can just die. And like I said, Karma, right? Like, supports will do this to you. More and more and more. And like I said, they have the worst champions in the game on enemy team. So you live, but here you should have always died. Every single time, you die there. When you watch yourself play, we can't be like, oh, this was good. This is terrible. You should always die. Imagine she's Nautilus. Right?
Yep.
Blitzcrank. Pike. you're just dead. Imagine Nasus is a useful champion, right? Like LeBlanc. You're dead. To me, this was so obvious because everyone in the game, every single person in the game, can know that here, when you decided to push this wave and they see Nasus contest this, everybody in this game knows that you're gankable. Because you have to overextend for minions now. So now you have to set a vision. All these clicks you're doing now is bad. You should not be walking up right now, you should be warding. Because you need to understand, you are the target. You have a target on your back. Everybody wants to kill you right now. Make sense?
Yes.
Like if you're
Writing it.
yeah, because like if he's Veigar, right, and you're the Nasus, you would be asking for gank, right, and just cage him and kill the Nasus, right?
Yeah.
Free gank. It's the same logic here. So yeah, that was really bad. Should have died there. Yeah, Mana Crystal isn't too bad because in a lane like this you can quickly get Let's just see how much gold did you have. Predator boots, obviously, you need to buy here. If you had electrocute, I would never buy boots. Because you don't need movement speed in the lane. The only reason to buy boots is because you have Predator in this matchup. So you have 720. Yeah. So the issue is, I would buy Amp Tome and Dark Seal because I want damage versus him.
And pink floor.
I mean, if I have spare gold, you can buy a pink, yeah. But the issue is you don't have enough gold to buy Amp Tome. So you could... No, you can't get an Amp Tome if you want Dark Seal as well. So even if you buy... Yeah, even if you buy just Sapphire Crystal, you see you can't get Amp Tome. So your buy is fine. But if you could get Amp Tome, I would rather get Amp Tome. Because I want to get my Everfrost ASAP. I don't think I will kill this Nasus. I don't think I'll get many Dark Seal stacks. You get what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
So the Dark Seal is more of like a filler buy. You buy it because you had nothing else to buy. But if you had an Amp Tome, I would buy Amp Tome.
You theoretically consider going cloth armor?
No. I don't think I should take damage. Like I said, their champs are useless. Like, how do I take damage from their champs? Right? Like, versus Zed and stuff, sure. But Nasus Kindred, I should not even be in range. So, yeah. Again, you're entering lane, right? And now we should try to make sure he doesn't get to crash because he's a Nasus without flash, right? Him having this wave state is terrible for him. So you need to start trimming this wave because right now he has so much more minions than what you need. If you wanted to push into you here, right? All you need is that there's even minions. If it's 6 minions versus 6 minions and the wave is on his side, it's going to push into you. Look at this minion advantage. Does he have 6 minions? Watch. Look at minimap. Does he have 6 versus 6?
No.
No, he has like fucking 10 or something, right?
Yeah, 10 versus 8.
Yeah. Yeah. For me to freeze here, I only need him to have 3 more casters. You know?
Yeah.
So like, this is a fucking army of minions. So when I enter the lane here, I'm trimming the wave. So he pushes slower. Because otherwise I'm going to have to sit and tank these minions, right? I want these minions to die slower. So I would be Wing parts of this wave right now. I think that you can legit W all of this. And the wave will push into you a lot slower. You know?
Wait, the backline?
Yeah.
Not the front.
Yeah, because this is what's going to damage my wave. This ones won't damage my wave. You know? I need to buy time for this wave to come. You get what I mean?
Yep.
So I would try to queue parts of it. Like this, I would... Like, obviously you tried, right? So this I would queue. And then I wouldn't have queue for the other ones. I would just W it, because otherwise, like I said, right? I can't freeze. Because he'll just push too fast. Because he should not get to crash this. Your entire game plan now should be prevent him from crashing, and he should die on this wave every single time. Like, what's his counterplay? How does he live on this wave? He has no flash. He's bound to die, right? Because see, now you're gonna have to sit and like tank it and stuff. And like I said, a real champion will not just let you do this. Right? He can't do much because his champ is so piss useless. But a real champ is not gonna let Veigar sit and use W on the wave and tank 100 minions, right? Sooner will like stun you and shit. So, yeah. Obviously here, when you have a choice how to use your W, you don't want your W to hit everything. So like, aiming your W like this would be good, because making all of these casters like half HP like this is really bad. Because now it bounces to him, it's not a freeze anymore. Because they are all insta-dead, see? Now it's 7 versus 7. Right, we talked about this. So now he doesn't have to walk up. He can just chill now. Let it bounce into him. And we don't want that. So now, again, the game is out of our control. Now you have to hope that he pushes it back in. Like, let's say he's playing Fizz, right? Would you be happy slow pushing into Fizz?
No.
No, right? And so, like, obviously you will not die pushing into him, but he will never die. Because see how he has to stand now? He gets to, like, stand in the, like, if he wants to, he can, like, walk like this, but he sees Rek'Sai now. But he doesn't have to walk here, right? He can just stand here right now. But he should have to stand here. And this is one of your biggest mistakes so far in lane, like this, and the slow pushing into him without understanding what's going on the map. Those two mistakes are really bad, because you can't really control what's going on in the game now. Right? The reason why he's 10 HP has nothing to do with what you did. It's him walking past you, tanking all your abilities and autos, right? Like, he's just griefing. So this is good. Forcing him to have to ult for HP and stuff. This is really, really good. Because your ult is completely useless. Whereas his ult is like, he can actually like try to win 2v2s, prevent dying. So, that's really good. I would ping my cage cooldown. Every time you see your jungler is clicking towards you, you always ping your stun. Okay? This doesn't matter what champ you're playing. If you're Syndra, you ping your E. Okay? You always do this. Because we like, here you do it, right? So that's not bad. But I would be doing it, like, already, like, now, you know? Like, I see my jungler here. See? Because the last thing you want is he's fucking tunneling over now. Because he could if he wanted to, right? He could tunnel right now. And you haven't pinged yet. And sure, we can blame him and say, yeah, but he should be checking my lane. Sure, but did you look at Rek'Sai a single time this game? No. So why should he do it, right, when you don't? So...
Yeah.
Does he not know this guy has no R? I guess you didn't ping that either, or what? Okay, I mean, I would just, like, I assume he sees it, right? But I out of habit, I always just ping these things, like... Yeah, I mean, you never ping it. So you just need to get better at pinging these things. It's not your, like I said, it's not your fault that he did what he did. But there's no reason to not ping that Nasus ulted.
It's like 50-50 for me. If also, like ults. Some, usually I ping the some.
Yeah. So, like, you see that entire all-in, right? Like, this is why I don't like Dark Seal, because there will be fights like this where 5 extra AP and stuff like this can help, and I need to get going. I don't need to get stronger when I am starting to snowball. Like, Veigar's not a champ like Fizz, where you get 1 kill and now you're gonna want to get 20. Veigar's a champion that just wants to get through the early game, so getting Dark Seal is not that great. You know? Because now your Everfrost is so delayed. But like I said, you don't have a choice in this game. But just for future games.
No.
Yeah, I would go CDR boots this game. Like, that's another thing. Like, when they have, like, tankier teams, right? When they have, like, enchanters or tankier champions, I prefer CDR boots because I need to spam cages. I need to spam my Qs and Ws. Otherwise, I can't kill them. If they have, like, really squishy champs, I think Sorks is fine. But I also don't like to buy CDR. That's why I also like to get CDR boots. Like, I don't like to buy Cosmic Drive. I'd like to just go into Rabadon second. Nice that Kindred bugs still exist. Like, she showed on your screen for a second. This is what I was talking about earlier. When you play just, like, useless champs like Nasus, you can just, like, cage them and farm AP on them. This is really nice. But yeah, so like I was saying about CDR, if you're going Everfrost, right, that's 20 ability haste. And if you go into Sorks, that's 0. You go into Rabadons, that's 0. Assuming they are human and they buy magic resist, right, at that point, that's 0 from Void Staff. So you're gonna play Veigar with like 20-ish ability haste. Like, sure, you have 28 because of the small rune, and then you get another 10 if you have Transcendence, which, like I said, I wouldn't go because of Futures Market. But yeah, 38 ability haste is not that much on a champ like Veigar that has such a powerful E ability, right? Nasus is not gonna get one shot. Malphite is not gonna get one shot. I don't think that Ezreal and stuff will get one. I mean, Siggs should get one shot because one, he shouldn't even be in your range, but most importantly, he also has like shields from Karma, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I don't like the Searchers. Also, like a side note, if you do have CDR boots, you would be pushing and farming faster as well because more spells. Stuff like this is not good. Same logic as before. So if you look back, are these minions gonna die?
No.
Minions? Okay. So the only advantage to W and queuing them now is that you would push faster.
Yep.
What happened to Gnar?
He died top lane.
How did
I
he die?
think. I didn't pay attention
Kindred.
properly.
The only
Yeah.
reason to lose AP to push is to get there faster. Right? To roam faster. When my team is doing Dragon and Kindred gang top, you're basically saying, I think enemy Karma is going to go into Dragon Pit and fight my team. Why would you do that?
Well, because it's Diamond to Master.
Yeah, but okay, but yes, I know it's Diamond to Master, but Karma is not gonna walk into the Dragon Pit and fight 1v3, right? In at least 99 out of 100 games, that will not happen. I know you've seen some stupid stuff, but Karma is not gonna walk into Dragon Pit. You know, like if Rek'Sai is diving bot here, you should push and go, yes. But Rek'Sai is doing Dragon, and Kindred is top, so there's nothing happening at Dragon. If Kindred is missing, and Rek'Sai is doing Dragon, yeah, you should push, because maybe she's going Dragon, right? So you want to get to move. That's fine. But the issue here is that you will see, now, I would combo Nasus, because I look at this and I'm thinking, okay, I can EWQ him here. Worst case, I get like 1 AP, because I only hit Q or W. Best case, I get 3 if he walks into the stun. Most likely, I get 1 to 2 AP, but also some damage, right? But when you do this, when I W, now I have to Q it. Because otherwise I just lose AP, right? So now I can't combo him. But you could have comboed him and then you could have just Q'd the minions afterwards. You would just get more AP. And when you repeat that, you just get more and more and more. See? There's 2 AP. Why didn't you do that 5 seconds ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff like this makes you a lot stronger as Veigar, because just faster ways to stack. Oh, yeah, I hate when that vision thing happens. You should have Q-flashed her. Also more AP, but yeah. You'd get more AP, but also obviously saving your ult, but yeah.
I think it's kind of like due to the buff that I didn't really realize that I had Q.
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's things like that is like useless. I just want to see something which is fight. Because like, you move down with Predator, which is good. You fight, which is good. I just don't like that you, like, flash like this and then you run back into him.
Yeah, it was more like a frustration move.
Yeah. But do you think this invade is bad?
Yes.
Why?
Because we were relatively even in lane, and like fighting in their jungle is usually bad if we are 4v4.
But it's not 4-4.
Isn't it?
No. Kindred will stop. So she will be running to the fight for most of the fight. I think it's good invade. Just because it went bad doesn't mean it's bad. Right? Like, look. Why would Nasus ever leave this minion?
Because Rek'Sai's on vision.
Yeah. He probably rotating, right? Look. Rek'Sai is running into Nasus. How does that make the invade bad? A lot of people think the way that you think too, like, yeah, this fight went bad. Yes, the invade was bad, but it's not a bad invade. The Rek'Sai is just trolling, right? Your jungler is just trolling.
I thought that Kindred was there from the start.
Yes, and that
So yeah, if it's
obviously you
forward
think
thinking.
that because you're not aware of what's going on in the game, right? I talked about that earlier on in the game about karma. That's why you need to learn that, because it's impossible to play these situations when you don't know what's happening. You're entering this with the mind that my jungler is griefing and you're afraid of Kindred, but Kindred shouldn't be here yet.
Yep.
Right? Your mindset here should be, I have first move, we should fight in their jungle because we can one-shot people. It's good. I want to fight. But when you see Rek'Sai is running into your mid laner, right? He's gonna get one-shot here every time. Enemy LeBlanc, enemy Zed, enemy Fizz will all one-shot him. Then you can't just like walk melee into the Nasus. Right? Your Rek'Sai's griefing. You have to look at this and you have to be like, okay, I have to give Rek'Sai up. He's fucking griefing. Happens. It's a good invade right now. Now it's bad. See? Here's pretty bad, but you keep clicking forwards. See what I mean?
Yep.
Whereas you should be like over here casting your spells, and then you should realize this is over, and then just leave and ping everyone back, and then it's just Rek'Sai dying. And sure, yes, that feels bad. It's not that nice that Rek'Sai dies, but in a different game, what happens is Rek'Sai plays it like a human. He's standing here, he takes the red. If Karma walks up, she gets one shot, right? He kites into his bot lane that has first move. How the fuck is this a bad invade? Your AD moved first, your sup moved first, your jungle moved first. Only one that moved evenly is mid. Their jungler doesn't even exist. So we can't think that this is a bad invade. You shouldn't not want to fight early game.
Yep.
Fighting in early can be good. Because if you're never getting a lead early, what stops your teammates from just like inting later on in the game? I don't feel safe playing team fights late game, because if one of my teammates just fucks up, then it's just over. Right? Later on in this game, you will never match this Nasus late game, right? If Nasus buys Hullbreaker, he's just going to ignore you in side lane. So you shouldn't be like, oh, no, I can't fight. You should just be more aware. You should understand. If you take a fight now, Kindred cannot come because she has to come from top side pretty much. Now you should realize Rex is inting because he's inside of Nasus. So you should stop clicking forwards.
Yep.
Because this only turns bad. Now it's bad because now you flashed, you died, so you're 1-for-1. Syra dies, everyone chases, so everyone dies. But if we just realize that Rek'Sai is griefing because he face checks your mid, we could all leave. Because Saya and Syra, why are they chasing? I refuse to believe Syra and Saya would run in here if you were here.
No.
Because then Nasus would be here, right? So then it's just Rek'Sai dying to Karma. Not that bad. Right? You just return to mid here, you push, and the game continues. But you're just playing on autopilot, fully committing to the fight. Okay, he should die. Completely and has no ult, so. Yes. Okay, Karma is missing. Bit sussy movement from Kindred. Okay, so now Karma is bot, okay. Really fucking weird how she just randomly tanks her WQ.
But my problem right now is that I feel like the situations you describe where I should be thinking that it's a good invade. Like I swapped to support for like 4 days. And I climbed from Diamond 1 to 190 LP. Because I do make those plays and try to push Vision and those early fights.
That's how League of Legends works. Like, doesn't matter if you're Veigar, you're not weak early.
Yeah.
Right? If you're 4 and they are 3, you should win. Your Rek'Sai just griefed it. So it's important when you watch yourself play you should be thinking, does it make sense to invade here? To me, it makes absolutely sense. I'm sure Xayah could even push faster, maybe. I don't know what happened in bot lane. All I see is a free red buff, and then we can all fuck off. Right? We can just leave afterwards. You know?
Yeah. And is the red buff that valuable? I mean,
Well,
yeah,
it's a free red buff, so why is it
yeah, it's free.
not?
So yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
saying there's no point to deny him one cannon because it's just 90 gold. Sure, you're not going to win or lose the game of the red buff, I agree. But there's no point giving them a free red buff when Rexa was here. He was right next to it. Like, if Rexa is here, yes, he shouldn't run all the way here just for a red buff to run back up the top. But he just did Dragon. Kindred was here while he was doing Dragon. It's a free red buff and then fuck off. Right? And you need to recognize those things. I think you probably climb better with support because you have more time to think what is a good play. Because you're not thinking about your lane. Right?
Yep.
Not sure where Kindred is, but she should be bot side, considering that she came from top side last time. But she's not gonna like be able to come and kill you here, so it's fine to do. Good. Nice. You even get that hit. I would take next wave. I would take wave. You should take wave. Just take the fucking wave. You shouldn't care. You should always take the wave here. Like, you don't have your item now. See?
Yeah.
You should always ping your item and take the wave. And this is where Futures Market could help you too. So, but yeah. Okay, he bought CDR boots versus Syra Veigar. That is a bit greedy. That should get punished later on. So now, at this point, if I'm you, my game plan is just push and move, because I can't kill him anymore. Okay, bit slow cage. I like that you play without the indicators. That's good.
Right.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, HP rune, it saved you.
That was like kinda frustrating.
Yeah.
Can you go back to where Kindred? Yeah, that.
Yeah. So
I
I would
just
be predatoring at her right now. I think she's griefing, but you're not using predator. You know, that's why I'm saying it's slow cage. If you predator, you get there faster. So yeah, all of this is like obviously like yeah, you missing Qs and stuff. But I don't care about that. You know, it's like useless.
No. Yeah, I think I used the Predator to enchant my auto attack, but
Yeah,
it
but you
didn't
should
go off. Yeah,
but
I
you should be
know.
using predator when you see an enemy on your screen here.
Okay.
Because if she's good, then now she's queuing over the wall right now, and then you need to be the one running her down with predator anyways, right? So you should just be using predator as soon as you see people on your screen that you want to gank.
Okay.
But what's really awkward is that Xayah is forced into going side lane all alone. And that's not ideal as like a Lefalti Xayah. She's 1-4, so she's really useless. So I'm fine with you being mid. But if she's more useful than you, you might want to be side lane. Okay, what vision do you have to do this like a maniac? Let's see. Because if Karma just comes to slow you, you're gonna get bombed down and die. So you have no clue where Kindred is, and you have no clue where Karma is. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
So what stops Karma from being here? Or Kindred being here? And now you're just dead?
I think they recalled
No.
the same, didn't they?
Nope. Watch. See Kindred?
Oh, okay.
Where's Karma?
Didn't see it.
Okay. Because we don't see her. Exactly.
Yeah.
Where do you think Karma should be? That is not mid. Like sometimes we can do risky plays like this, right? And we can think like, oh, they shouldn't be here. Because let's say Kindred is ganking Gnar, right? And Gnar is standing here hitting the fucking turret, then yes, you shouldn't assume Karma to be here. But Xayah is in base. They can see that because she's not showing on the wave, right? Gnar is in Africa. So they have nowhere else to look than mid, no?
Yeah.
So it's fine to do this, But when you get boinged like this, you should stop clicking forwards. Right? What are you hoping for here? You see what I mean?
Honestly, just that he grieves.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to willingly
Yes,
click
yes,
back into you, right? Like, you
Yeah.
die 6 times average, and I'm sure you have deaths like this. And dying like this is just so troll. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine to look for him. Of course you should look for him. But he has this W where he can just boing himself away, so you'll never reach him. Once you start crossing this spot here, you're really griefing. Unless you have some information to play around, you know? Like, maybe go on him from bot side, maybe. That would have been a bit better, because it's safer because of your vision. You know?
Yep.
But you need to limit the amount of flip moves you do like that. This is what I talked about in draft as Veigar. These guys will always just bomb you and stuff. So you have to try to zone them and go on them, because they are the issue for Veigar. You can't reach them. When you tunnel on Kindred, these guys will just bomb you. You know, that's why I said like Predator is really good versus like ranged champs. So I don't think if going on Kindred, we can also assume that she has ulti. You should be trying to go on these guys, because they are just gonna kill you if you go on Kindred. I think in general, your biggest mistakes is just the way you fight. Like, you fight really poorly. Like, watch here, right? How you try to cage him, like, what are you hoping for? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it's not even close. See? And you're just hoping he's gonna run into you. So now you don't have cage for 12 seconds. And then a fight happens, and now you don't have cage. And now you have cage in 1 second, and you're clicking forwards to her. Just killing yourself, basically. Whereas I would be standing here, looking to cage these guys. Because I cannot commit into this, where I have no way to escape, right? I can't walk here. So yeah, I think that kinda automatically fixes itself, as long as you're aware of it and you just play more and more and more. But it's a big issue I'm seeing so far, and if you don't start fixing it, it'll just get worse and worse. Because the more you do the mistake, right, the more it'll stick as a bad habit. It's like biting nails IRL, you know? Like, if you just keep doing it, it's gonna get harder and harder to stop. So here you're afraid of committing in side lane, and that's really strange, because the best thing you can do, as any champion in the game pretty much, to funnel yourself resources, is you just go crazy in side lane. The issue is, you're playing Veigar, you're not playing Fiora, you're very vulnerable in side lane, you can get run down. That's why here is a perfect time to create complete chaos in side lane, because Ziggs is dead, you see Nasus, he's the only one that can really kill you, right? And you see Kindred.
And Karma was...
Yes. So
Yeah.
we agree that if you blue trinket here, you are safe to take another wave, right?
Yep.
Okay. Look. What are we doing? Right, luckily she jumps over. But now watch, I don't think you're gonna go back bot lane. See? So you just lose minions. Right? Like, if they have a Nocturne now, running around missing, yes, you cannot go here. But they don't have a Nocturne, right? So, that's what we need to be aware of, like here, right? We don't want to leave a wave like this, because we will just lose the next wave.
No.
So why don't you ping Rek'Sai to hover you? Because you're piss scared that Nasus just pops Ghost and runs at you, right? I would be scared too, but Nasus cannot do that if Rek'Sai is here. You need to command your team, and you need to play around what they do compared to what you're saying. If you're telling this guy to hover you, and you see he's hovering you, then yes, you can push. If you ping him to cover and you see he's still ganking mid, then you might have to adapt. You shouldn't expect him to listen, but you should try to make the right calls. Because when you are playing Veigar and any immobile mage, you will have times in the game where you kind of rely on your team. We can assume this guy has tenacity here and tenacity in Resolve, right? If you meet him, he will ghost on you, you will stun him, and he will run you down. He will solo kill you. Will not even be close. So we need Rek'Sai to be ready to cover. Like, why is he standing in Pixel Bush instead of here? You see what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, nice. We get Q back up. Nice. Always Everfrost first. This is really lucky. Like, don't ever cage like this. When you're being approached, always Everfrost first. Okay? So many reasons. 1, if they get slowed, then stun, more likely to hit. 2, if they get rooted, then obviously it's 100% stun, right? But 3, they might leave, and then you can catch them with the stun as well. Right? Here she can outplay your stun so easily. Right? She willingly jumps into it. Right? But like, she doesn't have to do that, right? She can kind of like kite you, you know?
Yep.
So that's another bad habit. Make sure Everfrost first. When you're predatoring at a guy that's immobile as well, you might want to even open with Everfrost sometimes. It kind of depends on the situation. But when you're in close combat, you always Everfrost first. Shouldn't you go Void stuff? Let me see. When you press tab, I'm pretty sure you should go Void. Yeah. Look. Void is good versus her already. Void is good versus him as well.
Yeah.
Void is bad versus these two, but if you land combo on them, they are most likely gonna be dead, right? And also, you're not gonna be reaching those guys. This guy's gonna jump into you, this guy's gonna run at you. You need items that are gonna kill these guys, so I would go Void stuff. When we build items in this game, we need to think like, who am I going to be hitting, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be the guys coming into you.
My biggest problem with that is like, I know that it probably is a really good call, but I can't really figure out which one is the actually better one. Like,
What do you mean?
it's like I don't have the knowledge yet to really decipher which one is the more efficient one, I guess.
Okay. So we'll do a little quiz then.
I know that void stuff is really good, but
Yes, but there's more items than void stuff in the game, right? So
Shadow Flame.
so if let's say I want to buy Shadow Flame, like you just mentioned, when would Shadow Flame be a good item on Veigar?
Probably never,
Why do you think that?
because it just gives 150 HP or 200, and the ability power and is basically negligible.
Okay. So
And-
where else could I get this?
You mean on which champion or
No, like items, right? Because an item is only bad because there's other things that's better. So if I'm not
Like-
getting Shadow Flame, then what should I get then?
like I would go for Rabadons to just make me stronger, I guess,
Yes. And why is that better on Veigar?
because you just scale extremely well early on, even due to the passive.
Yes, because
Obviously.
of the passive. So what we're saying there is that now, let's say I'm playing Seraph, and I don't have Magic Resist. I could want Shadow Flame. Because Rabadons isn't as efficient second item. Rabadons is still not bad. It's still fine, but Rabadons also has a worse build path and costs more money. Right?
On Xerath, like I usually go. It depends. If I see that they have like a bruiser but without MR, I go Shadow Flame second.
Yeah.
Because
I
it
mean,
has higher base MR.
Shadow Flame is the most damage on Seraph. It's more damage than Horizon Focus.
Yeah.
So like,
But the thing about Horizon Focus, I just like the vision.
yeah, but that's really useless. That's like
Yeah.
really copium vision. But like when you think about which item do I want, you just have to think what other options are there. What is my goal, right? When they buy Magic Resist, Voice of is the best for that, so we want Voice of for that. If they don't have MR and we're playing Veigar, the only reason why we're going Rabadons is because they're passive. If Veigar didn't have his passive, then you should go Shadow Flame. You know?
Really that good.
Huh?
I don't know, I don't really like the item.
but there's no other item like Shadow Flame, so it doesn't matter if you don't like it. If you want Magic Pen, it's the only item you can get. That's what makes it good. Like, Sonya sucks on Veigar because there's other items that will keep him alive better, like Anathema's chains. Like, if they have a fucking Kiana, right? The only way Sonya's will ever be good versus Kiana is if you somehow Sonya's her entire combo. And in most cases, where you do that, then you're probably going to end up dying when you come out of the Hourglass. But if you have Anathema's and you put it on the Kiana, she cannot kill you.
And she has less tenacity.
Yes. And, for example, like, on tanks, Abyssal Mask is pretty bad because there's no reason to buy it, because if you buy Force of Nature, you are tankier. So the only reason if you needed this is if you want to remove their magic resist. So it doesn't matter if you don't like Shadow Flame, you literally don't have a better item. Horizon Focus is less damage. Rabadons you cannot afford, right? And I am sure that probably in some versus some champs, even Shadow Flame second on Seraph might outdamage Rabadons. But yeah, you could go Rabadon second on Seraph probably, but you would have to be really fucking fed, right? Because it's hard to get that. So you're not going to go Void Staff versus 0 MR. So what do you mean by you don't like the item? You don't like how it looks or what? Because like, look, Rylai's, right? Demonic, there's no items that will outdamage Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
And when we're playing Seraph, we need damage, no? What's the point of playing Seraph if you're not dealing damage? You're not going to come with Sonya's second item, right? Like, if you're playing Victor, right? And you're dealing damage to squishies, again, Shadow Flame will be your best bet.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, I don't know what you're buying here. It looks like Shadow Flame, but maybe you're going Rabadons. Rabadons is good versus the 6 and stuff, but it will be very bad versus Nasus, and it'll be quite bad versus Kindred.
I think it's just a mashup from I wanted to buy Void Staff and...
Yeah. And stuff like this is really bad, that you have to trade your flash. Like, I don't care that you die still. Like, even if you live, it's terrible. Because you losing your flash and Veigar just restricts how you can play by so much. Like, if you're playing LeBlanc, losing your flash isn't as bad. And it's just like, you just lack so much awareness, because here, if he doesn't have flash, then what you're doing here is fucking fine, of course, this is fine. You know? But he has flash, so you can't do this.
And the flash here was also kind of troll.
Of course, but we shouldn't be in a position where we have to flash, right? That's the more important thing. You deal no damage. You know, like, this guy has 180 magic resist. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot his
180.
ultimate.
180 magic resist, and you don't want Void Staff. Right?
Yeah, the thing is, I forgot, like, the...
Yeah, but even without it, he's going
details.
Gargoyle second, right? He's going Gargoyle second. As long as they buy a Magic Mantle, Void Staff is becoming a good item. That's why I'm saying this Kindred and this Nasus, they will run over you and ignore you and laugh at you. While this Ziggs, he is dead no matter what. See? You overkill him so fucking hard.
Yep.
See, like, now you're realizing to go Void Staff. And that's really bad to realize, because look your build. Look your build path. If you didn't randomly now get gifted 1k gold, you would never get this Void Staff. So, luckily for you, you changed it now, but you should have realized as soon as you based and you saw 2 Magic Mantles, you need the Void Staff. So yeah, your team dies. When your team dies like this, you have to make sure you don't int and die. You kind of just have to let your teammates respawn again. So you don't want to be too risky with how you play, because the worst is that when your teammates spawn, you die again, and then it's like just repeat int. Rek'Sai is kind of griefing. Again, you do this similar thing where you go on some guys here while there's a guy on the side. You know, you need to make sure you don't tunnel too hard on one guy, because you see Kindred hovering into river. This is like the same situation as when Kindred was here. You just ran past the 2 guys here.
Yep.
So like you see Kindred now hovering river. She's not just gonna let you walk melee into her teammates, right? So like now you're just fucked again. And I think this is your biggest issue as a player, you know? And then you're like pinging Rek'Sai and you're tilted. But it's like the game is really not as bad as you feel like it is. Like, if you look at the replay, yes, Rek'Sai's griefing. But does the game look that bad? Like, to me, it's still playable. I still have my Rabadon spike to get. You know? It's not like it's a hard draft to play against. It's only Sigs that's hard versus their champs, as Veigar. To me here, the game plan should be try to get mid-prio here. We should be pinging on mid-wave, walking up to mid-wave, looking to get push, and looking to fight on mid-wave. I don't want to fight in the jungle as Veigar. Because Veigar really hates getting flanked. Because you're always going to use cage on somebody here, and if you get flanked from behind, your cage is really useless, right?
Yep.
So you want to fight running down the lane. You want to fight in lane.
Yep.
So I don't see what you're running around in jungle for. Like, why is Sigs allowed to just walk up and get mid-prio like this? Right? If they
isn't the problem of flanking on the lane without vision even higher?
No, because we have a turret, we can kite back, we know what we're kiting into.
Okay.
Here we have to kite into a 6 ult covering the entire jungle.
Yep.
Right? And you can also W the bushes if you want. You could have used your blue trinkets better, like it's on cooldown now, so you could have just used it better the time you used it. I don't know what you used it on, but it's just like, I don't see how you're trying to win the game by just running back and forth in the jungle. If they get mid-prio, this game will be so fucking hard to play, because they will run into your jungle, remove all your vision, right? And if you guys want to farm your jungle camps, you will be face checking a fucking Malphite. Is that safe?
Yep. No.
No. So the question is, do I want to have to face check a Malphite and stuff, or do I want to just take a fight in mid? I would rather take a fight in mid. So we should ping mid wave and we should run down mid here and try to get mid push. So we can stop having to run in the jungle. Instead of just running back and forth. Right? Obviously, yes, Rek'Sai ints. But let's say he doesn't int. Let's say Rek'Sai is alive here. They get mid push. Do you think this game will be good to play? Like, let's say he's like here now. They kill this wave. What do you think they're gonna do, enemy team?
Well, trying to go for Baron.
Right, they're gonna go here, clear your vision. Okay. Saya and Syra will be stuck under turret because of the wave, right?
Yep.
And then you guys are gonna have to walk into this choke point, try to retake vision somehow. Isn't that worse?
Yes.
Because then you're face checking Sig's poke, face checking Malphite, right? Whereas if we're walking up in the lane, we at least know what we're looking at, right? We know where they are. We can have some rough idea where they are, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you can catch them on mid-wave. And by pushing the wave, you guys will all get to move together. That's why I'm saying that even though he's inting, yes, he fucks up there. The game isn't really that much better if he's alive. Because if you guys now decide to fight here and Rek'Sai is alive, you still have two people here on mid-wave.
Okay.
That's my point. You still don't know everyone that's here, right? You don't know if you're being fucking TP'd on behind here, you know? These type of things. There's a lot of things that's unknown with fighting here. And like I said, choke points is also an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care that you're tilted about Rek'Sai. Of course, yes, I understand. But it doesn't seem like you have a goal while you're playing. So then obviously you're going to be tilted. If you have a goal, like, okay, I need to get mid-prio, look for killing Sigs when he's going for mid-push, look to fight on mid-wave, then the game becomes easier to play because you're not having a purpose. You're just running around, getting bombed under your turret. That's what happens when you don't contest prio versus Sigs. You guys will all be under turret and bombed everywhere.
That was another issue for me, like, on the draft, I felt like that the Veigar pick wasn't really the best one.
I mean, it sucks versus Sigs. It's not that great versus Karma. I'd say it's pretty good versus everything else. Like, you're not going to get Malphite ulted if you play good. I think Veigar is quite good into Malphite, because Malphite does not want to buy MR, and assuming he buys armor, then he gets one-shotted, right? Veigar is amazing versus Nasus. Giga good. Like, Nasus was not safe in lane for a single minion, right? Because perma-gankable, right? And team fighting as Nasus versus Veigar cage is not that nice. Veigar is pretty fucking nice versus Kindred, unless she gets Giga fed with marks. If she gets Giga fed with marks, I don't think a single champ is good versus Kindred. No?
Okay, yeah.
So it's only 6 in Karma. It's very few times you're gonna find a champion that's good versus every single champion in the draft, right? Like I said, I think Veigar is terrible versus range, like Ezreal. But if they now have Akali in the mid lane, Aatrox in the top lane, and fucking Viego or whatever in the jungle.
Yeah, okay, but that's a really low range comp.
But that's pretty similar to this one, no? Kindred is just fed randomly. Like, if Kindred doesn't have a lot of marks, then...
Isn't it like...
Fair enough. Like, let's say they have Kindred here. I'd still want to play Veigar here. I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's not that much different that they have Malphite and Nasus, no? Probably Nasus is better to play against than Akali, maybe. So, like, I think you put me on Veigar this game, I will hard win. I don't think it's an issue. Like, you even got double kill on enemy bot lane, right? Like, you're 3-1 here with 90 CS at 1044. That's not that bad. Should, of course, have more CS. Maybe a kill or more in Nasus. If you manage waves better, he would probably get ganked a bit more. But I think you're taking a lot of information from things that are happening in the game that shouldn't be happening. Like, when I told you the invade Rexa did, it's not really that bad. Right?
That's, like, for me, a really big issue is, like, I have attack move on left mouse button, which is really grieving my map click ability. Would it be should I consider just, like, trying to relearn attack move on another, like A or something?
Well, if I have no clue how that works, so if it's stopping you from clicking the map, yes, you absolutely should.
Okay.
Because you cannot...
Because I can't click on the map without automatically...
attacking. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I
just
mean, then you should change, absolutely, yes. Because you are not able to get information to play with in the game.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you're telling me that you don't think this is the best Veigar game. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but, like, you're pretty much solo AP, right? Like, these guys shouldn't buy Mercs this game. Come on. They have Saya, Rek'Sai, Gnar. Right? So you're pretty much solo AP. Sure, you have a Syra, but, like, the two things that makes me hate playing Veigar is if, one, my team is AP heavy or CC heavy, because then enemy goes full tenacity, or two, I'm Giga outranged. Like I said, only one that outranges me is Sigs, but the only, like, Sigs is one of the better champs to get outranged by, because it's not like he's gonna damage me. You know, like, Seraph is gonna damage me a lot more. He can just solo kill me with his ulti, right?
Yep.
Later on. Jinx as well, much worse to play against. Same with Ezreal, because they can hit you much easier. Nasus sucks versus Veigar, it's terrible. Malphite has to ulti in, which means your cage is really good, and your cage can zone their entire team of following Malphite engage, and he doesn't want to buy magic resist. Kindred is not that good versus Veigar, because she's one of the shorter range ADCs. The only reason why she was a problem is because she's 4-1 as Kindred at 1040. Right?
Yeah.
Like, Akali sucks versus Veigar, but if Akali is 4-0, then yeah, she's gonna be pretty good versus Veigar, right? We can't use this to come to conclusions. You know? Like, I just don't think you did a good job snowballing your game, and you wasted a lot of time where you could snowball the game. Like, when you fuck up here, right? This is terrible. I look at this and I'm thinking 1 or 2 kills here. Because the only way these guys don't die is if Kindred goes on you when you're here, but if she goes on you when you're here, then she doesn't kill this guy. So she's probably gonna chase down, so you should just trade these guys. Instead, you run straight line at Kindred, get choked down, 10 HP, right? Karma
Yeah.
still dies, but you should always die there if they have different champs, right? It was a bit illegal what you did there. And now you're 10 HP, have to recall. Then you go bot, we don't side in properly, and you die because 1, you didn't ping Rek'Sai for hover, so you're really lucky that he's even here, but he should have been hovering properly. This guy should be Giga stunned if you Everfrost properly, so then you should never die there, because you should be Everfrost into cage. Imagine you're alive now, you could be farming more, right? Roaming more. The game can look completely different from these type of things. Here, push a bot, you go here and you go die. Instead, a different outcome could be, you could just push this, let them get the blue, you could gank mid, right? Maybe you kill Ziggs. If you don't kill Ziggs, you guys still get mid push. With that mid push, you guys retake vision. With this vision and control, you could push out another bot wave. Then you could roam again, right? The game keeps going. Instead, you run here, lose your flash, die. Game becomes a
And-
complete fiesta.
And kill my team.
Yeah,
With that too.
Veigar does not like when the game is complete fiesta. We waste 1.2k gold basically because your void stuff is so fucking giga delayed because you have needlessly. You know?
Yeah, the name is kind of fitting in that situation.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, early game was a lot of mistakes and should have gotten a lot more punished than what it did. And here, from this point on, I just don't feel like you have a game plan. Like, you got a bunch of kills for free now. You got your void stuff. Your team dies. Now we should just not die now and wait for our team to come. And we should go on mid and we should try to fight on mid. You have flash coming up, it's not bad for you to fight. Instead, you're just like walking around the jungle instead of going for mid control here. You know, you could be fighting Malphite right now. You could be taking mid wave, walking down mid, forcing a fight mid. If Nasus is top, he has no TP, he has Ghost Flash. Right?
Yep.
But you're just running around the jungle. See now, next mid wave is coming up. You're just walking around the jungle. Like, what are we trying to achieve here? You see?
Yeah.
We're not playing to win when you're doing stuff like
Yep.
this.
Yep.
Because even if you catch, let's say you randomly catch Nasus here. For some reason he's fucking here, right? Ziggs kills the midwave still. You guys kill the Nasus. Are you guys gonna do Baron? Ziggs will poke you all down. You have a 2 and 6 Saya, who's lethality. You guys are never doing Baron. So to win this game, we need to retake control. We need to get a winning fight. We need to make picks. By taking push in mid, we get first move into jungle, most likely. Then we get the vision. Then they have to come into us. Then we could potentially make picks, right? Worst case, we still get mid push, we get a wave, right? And nothing happens. You get what I mean?
Yep.
And you get very influenced by ints like this. Like here, Rek'Sai ints again. And instead of you accepting that the ints, you get so tilted that you just run it down. Which is really bad, because if they go 5-man on Baron, you could instead just decide, okay, I'm going to use that time to farm all of this and take bot turret. And with 2 waves and a bot turret with local gold and everything, probably you're going to get like 800 plus gold, right?
Yep.
And some EXP. And that's going to be much better than dying with your entire team, right?
Yes.
Especially on a champ like Veigar, because Veigar is one of those champs where you can almost win every game, as long as it's like it gets to some point, right? Like, if this game goes another 10 minutes, the lead that they have now doesn't really matter, no? Like, obviously you're probably outscaled, but you could still potentially carry. And
Yeah.
maybe land a good cage, you can turn the game around. But you get so pulled into like the random stuff happening because it's solo queue, and you don't realize it's a bad play, and then you just tunnel and die. Happened on the invade. You should just realize that he was hugging Nasus' side, you didn't. And it happened again when Rek'Sai died on mid. And everything that's happening now is just a consequence. So yeah. Do you have any questions?
Mm. Just what do you use for attack move? Like just
I
A
just
or
use A, yeah.
Okay.
Just use A and it shows my range too.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, last thing I just want to talk about before before we end is just that, like, you mentioned briefly when we were talking about Syndra, how like you have like champ pool issues, you just play like everything. Like, why is that? Like, because nobody can play everything. It's a huge waste of time to try to play everything.
Yeah, it's
Do you just
like,
get bored or what?
that's like a mental issue for me that has many effects on multiple things in my life. That I get bored like really, really fast. Like I have since season 6 or something, I have 120 to 150 played champs in ranked.
Yeah.
Like,
but like the thing with that, right, is that obviously, like, yeah, it's easy to say that, yeah, I have issues with that, right? And sure, I believe that, right? A lot of people have that. That's why I was mentioning, like, if you get bored and stuff, because that's usually the reason. But we need to have some kind of priority, right? Like, what's our priority? Like, is our priority to always have fucking fun and do whatever? Well, then, okay, if you want to do that, right, then do whatever you want, right? But if our priority is to actually get somewhere and get good, we have to drop something, right? We have to drop something that makes us comfortable and sometimes be uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you do get bored, then yes, go on another account then, right? Like, surely you have a Smurf.
Well, I've played a Smurf and like I leveled it in pre-season. Like, but I'm kind of frustrated right now because I played it into Diamond 1 Master MMR, and like, I don't know, 35
which is the same of your main.
Yeah.
So then
and
if you...
I just OTP'd Vladimir, like other champs.
Yeah.
And now it's like in hardcore lower bracket Smurf queue.
Yeah, but...
And it's probably just the same issue again.
Like, I would not have my main account be my troll account. You know? Like, everyone has a troll account. Where they just, like, they're fucking bored, they want to try something, you know? Like, I'll show you my one sec. This is my fun account. It's like every season, like, master. Like, D1 master. I was like, here, look here, I'm like, this day, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna play Riven today, you know? So I'm just playing Riven. And then I'll fucking go and play some Garen, you know? With 28% win rate. But I would never do that on my main.
Yeah.
Right? And that's fine. That's not unnormal. Everyone has that. There's a lot of fun champs that you might want to try. But it's really counterproductive when you are tryharding, playing Veigar, trying to climb, and then you're like, nah, I want to try the new champ now, 6 games, right? You know? I'm not saying it's your fault in all those games, but we both agree that when you're picking Vladimir, you probably have a 60% chance by default to win the game, and when you're playing Seri, you probably have a 30 to 40, right?
Yeah.
So by going into the games with this thing, we can't say with a smile on our face that we're trying to win, because we're not.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when I'm looking in Garen here, I'm not trying to win, right? I'm not gonna try to say I am. I'm not. I'm just playing Garen because I want to play Garen. I'm not playing Garen because I want to win. I'm like, I'll try to win, sure, but it's not like I'm playing Tryndamere, right? I'm playing Garen. I'm not good at Garen. So, yeah, just like, yeah, I get it. You get bored, but if you do get bored, then go on your Smurf. Or you should full try hard on your Smurf and then have this be your Smurf, but you should pick and choose. You can't try hard half of the games on this account and then troll the other half. You should either troll all or never troll. Otherwise, it's complete waste of time.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'll stop the recording here.